So, as to the issue of Burkina Faso and Nigerian soldiers, right? We don't really know the true situation of things, whether they have been released or not. We really still don't know, and I'm surprised that confusion. I think they are trying to keep things quiet. They want, on the one hand, they want to keep the impression that uh, things are okay, things are being settled. But on the other hand, the reality is that since these officers have not been released, these personnel have not been released. So there's this diplomacy between Nigeria and Burkina Faso. There are reports whether the plane was actually going to Portugal or something like that. I don't know. All I know that it's not. I don't think Burkina Faso. I don't think they really want to get into any direct conflict with Nigeria. I don't think so. And what would they benefit from it? They've already moved out of ECOWAS. They've formed their own Sahel States League, you know, AES, and all that. So I don't think they really need to have any for this aircraft. It's not a fighter jet. It's an aircraft. Yes, it was carrying military personnel, and yes, it was after the Benin coup and what's happened there and all of that. But Burkina Faso should release the Nigerian personnel and release the aircraft. There's no need for this unnecessary this thing. There's no need for it. For the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I saw reports that Eric Shile is the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They said there was a report yesterday that he has not been paid for 3 months. And that has been the problem. All the coaches they've had this same complaint. The coaches we've had from days of Stephen Keshi, Austin Eguavoin, the local coaches, Nigerian coaches that coach the national team had problem of pay. All the foreign coaches we've had problem of payment. If Nigeria cannot afford foreign coaches, cannot afford to pay them in dollars or then go for local coaches. And when you go for local coaches, you still pay them. Then local coaches are not paid as much as these foreign coaches. You understand? Because of the foreign coaches are usually paid in dollars. Nigerian coaches will be paid in naira, So that disparity makes foreign coaches are paid better. But once you enter a contract, when you enter an agreement to pay somebody, why not pay the person? Eh? Why not pay them? Because they are not being paid. That is why that's why you have some of these problems. The Super Eagles have had problems where they boycotted training ahead of the World Cup qualifiers, and we've seen how the captain has resigned, has left the national team. Then we have Chile. It's just few days to the Nations Cup in Morocco, African Nations Cup. So they should settle it. If Nigeria cannot pay, then maybe we shouldn't even be bothering about these things. You understand? How can you employ somebody and you not pay the person? I don't even see the rationale behind that. Eric Shele should be paid. The Eagles should be paid what they are due, and it will improve their morale and improve the performance. So for Fubara, as I said, when Fubara made the speech that we're going to APC, you can see his mood. Fubara has been liberated. He has been set free. This meeting he had with Tinubu, and after which he moved to APC, is liberation for Fubara. Because Fubara, after the state of emergency, Fubara doesn't do rallies. Have you seen any rally that he did with compliment of band and supporters? He has not been doing that since he came back, since Rivers State came back when they stopped emergency. Fubara has not been doing those things. He will go inspecting projects quietly, you know. He will just talk to press. He will not carry crowd or this thing. He doesn't do that. But we see now that after defecting to APC, he's now doing a crowds, supporters with complement of band, singing. The support for Tinubu is now corner and stuff like that. So Fubara now is now back to himself. Pre-emergency rule. Fubara is now back to his full self. He's now liberated. He's not doing like the Fubara that we knew, that was opposing Wike and stuff like that. And a couple of things he now said, like when he did this, it was a project or commissioning, he has made a number of points. One of which he said that, some people said he doesn't want to meet with the State House of Assembly members. That is not true. That he has made several efforts to meet with them. That the arrangement was that he is not the one that's supposed to call to meet the State House of Assembly. That is the Minister of FCT, Wike, that's supposed to call them. You understand? So Minister of FCT will call them, that's when they meet. That he cannot directly go and meet the State House of Assembly. That's not the arrangement. And that seemed to be true. It seemed to be true that the State House of Assembly they are not receiving any direction from the state governor. And for him to meet with them, it has to be at the instance of the Minister of FCT. And that for a long time now, such meeting has not been held. And so that it's not a question of whether he wants to meet with the State House of Assembly, is because the meeting has not been arranged at the instance of the Minister of FCT. He said all that, sang and all that.
We don't even need to come here to do this. But if we don't tell our story, who will tell our story for us? So we're here to tell the world, to tell everyone that even in the face of our tribulation, we are still focused on delivering the dividends of democracy. We will continue to serve our people with respect and honor. I thank you all for your support. You already know our position. It is to make sure that development gets all around the River State. And that medium is to ensure that everyone supports Mr. President. We're out. We have started it. We will support every other arm. We will support every other group to ensure that we deliver for Mr. President come 2026.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who yesterday announced his defection from the People's Democratic Party PDP to the All Progressives Congress APC, further explains the reasons behind his action.
It's not a personal decision or to fulfill my personal ambition, but to see that our state succeeds. We cannot strive in an atmosphere of rancor. Development cannot come to our states when there is continuous disunity. And you are also aware that we're also standing because of the support of Mr. President.
The governor says he remains resolute in his support for President Bola Tinubu and his renewed hope agenda.
Let it be very clear to everyone that the renewed hope agenda is here with a vigor than you can imagine. We're out, we're ready to drive it to every door in every local government area of River State. In the year within the talk, we dey support Tinubu, we know they follow corner. That is the second time, I'm going to take that one. Everybody sing
Governor Fubara also uses the occasion to clear the air about insinuations being made that he does not want to have anything to do with the Martin Ameuli-led River State House of Assembly.
The leadership of the State Council that is led by Chief Federal Barbara can attest to this. I've made every effort to meet with them. But the arrangement wasn't for me to call them directly. It was for my leader, the minister, to arrange the meeting, which up till this hour, that meeting has not been fixed. So when people go about saying, I don't want to meet them, thing, I don't want to attend to them, I don't want to meet their demand, that is pure lie. I don't have any reason to do that. I personally said whatever is their need, whatever it is that they need, I'm ready to meet it so that we can have peace in the state.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara is therefore suing for peace and calling on the people of the state to support his administration in building a united and prosperous river state.
Then, today, we now saw the State House Assembly, Martin Ameuli and his gang, his group. They held a press conference trying to counter the narrative of the state governor.
Emergency rule was declared. Even after the emergency rule, we discussed with him in the meeting, saying, look, bring your budget so that we can take care of all you intend to do for the remaining part of 2025. There in that meeting, the governor told us blatantly that he will not do it, that he will not bring a budget. God is my witness. As I speak here, God is here, and God knows I'm not lying against the governor. Where the governor is, governor knows I'm not lying against him. I shouldn't have brought all this to the fore because we are trying to see how we can mend fences and move the state forward. So we have kept small, hoping that the governor will do the right thing. From September, when we met with the governor, to this day, the governor has been spending without our approval, awarding contracts to his cronies, particularly those who masterminded the burning of the Riverside Assembly. Awarding contracts to them, and they celebrated it on social media, mocking us that they've been rewarded for burning down the Riverside Assembly. The governor does not seek the approval of the Riverside Assembly to spend. He has been spending from his strong pockets. We decided to just stay calm and hope that the needful will be done. Because Rivers people are yearning for progress. Rivers people are yearning for good governance. And we just decided to say, let's just stay calm. But the governor's outburst yesterday is the reason for this press conference. Because we need to set the record straight. And it's important that also state that the minister of the FCT, His Excellency is the one used to Wike, means well for River State. He wants peace. He wants the state to move forward. Let me also make it clear and inform Rivers people that within the tendency of the emergency rule, His Excellency is the one used to Wike also summoned a meeting of all the members of the Riverside Assembly. 27 of us were present in that meeting in the official residence of the FCT minister in Abuja. The governor was in that meeting. The governor sat with us. We had a meeting with the governor. All the members present were so shocked hearing the governor saying that no meeting has been called. Let me also inform Rivers people that after the emergency rule, the FCT minister also caused a meeting to take place at the residence of Chief Alabama in his residence here in GRA Port Harcourt. We also had a meeting of the Elders Council. In that meeting, some members of the assembly, principal officers, myself, I was in that meeting, deputy speaker was there, the leader was in that meeting. How many meetings have I mentioned?
He said, Ameuli said that outburst by the state governor, and all that. He said that the minister of FCT means well for River State, that the minister of FCT has called them to meet. So it confirms what Fubara is saying, that he can only meet with the State House Assembly after the minister has called them together, that he cannot initiate any meeting like that. So whatever meetings they have, right, it has to be at the instance of the minister of FCT, So but now we see this State House Assembly members. Martins Amewule saying that that is not the case, that they've met with Fubara a couple of times, that he was supposed to present budget, and Fubara said he's not going to present budget, that Fubara is spending money without a budget, and that he's approving contracts without being approved by the State House of Assembly, and all that. So Martins Amewule is praising the FCT minister and is doing his very best to criticize the state governor, and he's saying that the president has done well and all that. So the bottom line is this: Wike and Wike's camp, they are not happy with Fubara. They are not happy with this defection that Fubara has vetted to APC. They are not happy with the new Fubara. Wike has not made any comment. I'm still waiting to hear from Wike, which I guess will be soon, because Wike cannot afford to stay away from the media for so long. So I guess Wike will speak soon. So we have Wike's camp. Martins Amewule's talk today is speaking for Wike's camp. Wike's camp are not are not happy with Fubara. They are not happy with the defection. Because as I've explained in an earlier video, this wasn't the plan. The plan was not for Fubara to defect to APC. The plan was to try to maintain some semblance of regular order of PDP. And the way it's going now, the body language is that Fubara's camp is like Fubara will go for 2027. Right? Because there's no way he can fully support Tinubu without he himself running for office in 2027. There's no way. Because the only way he can really fully support Tinubu is he will not have his own campaign this thing. As he's campaigning for himself, he'll be campaigning for Tinubu. Or if, let's say, it was the second term, as he's campaigning for a successor, So the way these things is shaping out now, Fubara needs to contest for 2027 so that he can deploy the resources and all that he has in that campaign, and then now also campaign for President Tinubu. And presidential election holds first before state elections. So he could make more effective case of seeking re-election and campaigning for Tinubu than him being a lame duck governor. Being a lame duck governor will not really help. So the body language now, the agreement they had before they settled, the agreement we had was for Fubara not to run again. The agreement between Fubara and Wike before the state of emergency was suspended was Fubara not to run again. That was the agreement. Fubara was not supposed to run again. Him joining APC and now saying, on your mandate we shall stand and will fully support Tinubu from the front. That is not the campaign of somebody who doesn't want to run again. So Fubara wants to run again, and that goes against what they may have agreed. So that agreement is now is now threatened, is now in shambles. According to what Amewule said, that the things Fubara is going against the things that they agreed, So Wike's camp are not happy, and that is obvious from what is playing out now. One thing I've always argued is that Wike has tried Wike tried a new form of godfatherism. Other godfathers, they don't do this. Okay, let me tell you what Wike did. Wike is in control of the senators from Rivers State. He's in control of House of Reps from Rivers State. He's in control of the State House of Assembly. He's in control of the local government chairman. At the beginning of Fubara's term, he appointed most of the cabinet members, the commissioners. He appointed most of the aides. In short, all the elected offices in Rivers State are under Wike's control at the beginning of this dispensation. When Wike was governor, he ensured that every elected office he put people there that will be loyal to him, Wike. So that in case his successor, Fubara, decides not to play ball, play along, then he can easily deal with him. And that's a new form of godfatherism. The godfatherism that used to happen and which we are not succeeding, where that you allow, yes, you be a godfather, you make the person win, but you still allow the person have some freedom to make some appointments, to do things. Fubara never had that freedom. Before Wike became minister, Fubara was always going to bow down and seek permission for everything. Even his cabinet, his aides, when Fubara approves certain things or says certain things, they ask him whether he has gotten approval from Wike. So, and that's part of the problem that made Fubara to go to break out, few months after becoming governor. And when the FCT minister, when Wike was appointed as FCT minister, when he left Rivers State, Fubara saw that as an opportunity to exert himself. So Wike tried this new form of godfatherism, where he tried to control everything. The only thing that Wike missed was that he did not stay back in Rivers State. Him becoming minister, right, helped him to be part of Tinubu's government. But it's difficult for you to be a godfather and maintain control of state when you are away from the state. Look at President Tinubu. How was Tinubu able to be an effective godfather for many years after leaving governor of Lagos State? He was governor from 1999 to 2007. After he left, Fashola came in as governor, Ambode came in as governor, Sanwo-Olu came in as governor, and Tinubu maintained control because since he left office 2007, he never left Lagos for any elected position. Unlike other governors that will go to be senators in the National Assembly, he rather sent his wife. He stayed back in Lagos and kept eye on things and kept his ear on the ground and monitored everything so that everything was within his control. That was how Tinubu was able to maintain his godfatherism in Lagos. If Tinubu had left Lagos to become senator or something, he would have lost Lagos. Look at the time Tinubu left to contest for national position, and he lost Lagos in presidential election. He was in Abuja as president, and the speaker of the State House Assembly was removed, Obasa, without his say so. You understand? So what made Tinubu an effective godfather was because he stayed back in Lagos State and he kept eye on things. You understand? But if you check other godfathers who have left, let me run down some. You have Kwankwaso, who was godfather to Ganduje. The Kwankwaso now became a senator and left Kanu to Abuja. And then Ganduje broke out, and the godfatherism, Godson, Ganduje was a very loyal Kwankwaso supporter. He was deputy governor when Kwankwaso was first governor. Then when there was an 8-year break, when Kwankwaso came back as governor, he was also deputy governor. He has been loyal to Kwankwaso. But when that scenario played out, when Kwankwaso left Kanu to become a senator in Abuja, then Ganduje broke out. And Kwankwaso could not maintain his godfatherism. That had also played out in other states as well. Look at Godswill Akpabio. When he left, he put in somebody there, Udom Emmanuel, as governor of Akwa Ibom State. And then Godswill Akpabio at a point was minister, at another point he was a senator, and he left the state. And then Udom Emmanuel broke out and he got his own independence, And if you check, there are several other examples of people who left as governor, became senators in Abuja, and left their state, and they lost the godfatherism hold that they had in their state. And that is always the case, because people are more loyal to who is on ground. They are more loyal to somebody who holds the economic pulse, who will be able to give them contracts and stuff like that. In the case of Tinubu, apart from being in Lagos, he also holds the economic purse strings of the state, such that people who were in his camp knew that they will still continue to benefit. And that is why he was able to hold the loyalty of people. People don't get loyal to somebody who is away, and somebody who is not awarding contracts, and somebody who doesn't appear to be pulling the strings. You understand? I'm just surprised at the way this State House of Assembly has been loyal to Wike, because it's strange. In other normal circumstances, the governor is supposed to corner some of these State House of Assembly, supposed to corner more of them to a side. But for this group of people to be loyal to Wike, in spite of everything, it's beyond, it's beyond ordinary. It's beyond something that one could comprehend. So Wike tried a new form of godfatherism. But the one wrinkle in it is that he's in Abuja. It will be hard for Wike to control things in Rivers State from Abuja. It's hard. It's geographically difficult and practically almost impossible. You need to be on ground. When you are away and all you are hearing is phone call and all that, he tried to always, he goes to, there was a point he was going to Rivers State like weekends and all that. But it's difficult with the schedule of work he has in Abuja and the things he needs to do for the presidency and all that. So that can be a difficulty.